York's only local show is back on its new home on York's only local station.
Guess who's back? Back again.
This is the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
I'm back.
Now, broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown York studios inside Wellspan Park, here's Gary Sutton.
And a very rainy Thursday morning to you. I'm Gary Sutton, along with Mark McKenzie. Welcome to the Gary Sutton Show here on WOYK 98.9 FM and 1350 AM. And we are so glad to be coming to you this morning. And by the way, let me thank you. How many weeks has it been now, Mark? It's like almost a month that we have been in operation now. And
14th, yes. I think it was the 14th. Wasn't it the 14th?
Yeah, it was the 14th, the 15th that we actually started, I think. Yeah, and
it was a Tuesday.
No, it was the 14th. You're exactly right. It was the 14th. So a little over a month. And just
my lips are the gates of truth.
There they are, yes. Anyway, we'll talk more about that. But anyway, we are very thankful. And thankful more and more. I'm getting nice notes from people every day. They're listening. And we'd like you to tell your friends about us. And one of the ways you can do that, by the way, is by going to the Gary Sutton Show and answering our daily question on Facebook and just liking it. Get in there, take a look at it, put a little answer down, or just put a like on after you read it. And we'd like to get out to your social network. So wherever you are, wherever you're listening to the show right now, take some time this morning just to put out on your social network, hey, these guys are, give us a shot. Give us a shot. Listen to us and see if you like the show. We like to have a blend of all kinds of things. We like not so much to indoctrinate, but to have conversation and examination. That's kind of where we go when we look at the news every day. We have some fun. We laugh a little bit. We cry sometimes. You probably cry sometimes when you hear us laugh. But yeah, right. But we have that. We have lots of guests on. Today we're loaded to the gills again with guests. And just a chance for you to interact as well. At 833-478-4729. That's our text. And not a lot of people have used that just yet, but I do get a smattering every day about people saying, hey, we love the show and all that. But if you can get in the habit of doing that, we love it. We interact.
It's nice and easy. It's convenient.
Yeah, it's very easy. And that way you don't have to sit and wait in line or something like that.
Yeah, you can give us your 2 cents.
And and enjoy it while it lasts, because it's not going to be around much longer, because it's, they're knocking the penny out here soon. But 833-478-4729, if you can make that a habit, all you have to do is just text us and whatever's on your mind. On any of our segments, you can react. It doesn't even have to be said. Just you're part of the conversation. We do this for you. And, of course, this morning at 6:07 right now, we're reporting you live from Brooks Robinson Plaza, where it is a balmy 33 degrees.
It's hard to believe that 24 hours ago, we had a couple inches of snow on that plaza.
Gone.
And now?
Not here.
And I'm not talking from plowing either.
No, Brooks Robinson's statue doesn't have the snow in his head anymore. So
nope.
Glad to see that. I was a little troubled by that yesterday, and I went out and cleaned that out. But anyway.
Did you?
I did. Yeah, Brooks, I had my picture taken with Brooks one time. And he also sat in when Daryl and I did the first 3 years of the Revolution on another channel. Brooks Robinson came in and actually sat in with us for 3 minutes, or 3 innings. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, I could hear the angels singing. Having Brooks Robinson, the greatest third baseman ever, sitting between Daryl and me. And we were talking, and what do you say to Brooks Robinson? And I said, hey, remember back in 1970 when you got the nickname the human vacuum because of what he did to Cincinnati in the World Series. And he said to me, he looked at me and he said, a lot of people don't remember, I had an error the first play of that whole series.
No kidding.
He said, I had an error. He said, and all I could think about was, here's 1969 against the Mets all over again.
Oh, my.
And he said, I buckled down. And he said, the rest of the series went okay. I mean, he robbed people right and left, and it was amazing. But
Ken Burns' baseball, I've been rewatching that in bits and drabs.
You love that series, don't you?
I just think, they're trying to tell history through anecdote, basically. And
no one better than Ken Burns to do it, too.
And all the different voices and the perspectives. It's fun. And I really appreciate it. And I remember, it was maybe 2 weeks ago, when I happened to see the little piece that they did on Brooks. And what was odd about it was that for someone who was so significant in the game. They didn't spend much time on him. It was probably, I think, 3 minutes maybe. But I learned even more other than your stories and that kind of thing, and a new appreciation for his talent.
And, of course, a special relationship to York here. Started out as a second baseman for the York White Roses. It was interesting because my friend George Trout, who has passed away, who used to be right here on WOYK, for many, I listened to many a game at going to bed at night on my transistor radio with George Trout and Al Gregson. What a great combination they were. They were the Darrell Henry and Andy Bria of their day. Okay, that's how you could look at it. But anyway, George Trout was the announcer out at the stadium here. And one of the great stories, and it's been retold millions of times, I suspect, that they got the roster. And so up there sits George Trout, and he's ready to announce the guy coming to the plate. Coming to the plate now, Mark McKenzie. Coming to the plate now. And it was what they had on there was he was brand new to the team. So it was B. Robinson. So George, not having time to get down and check the first name, goes, Bob Robinson coming to the plate. And that Brooks Robinson, his first time he came to the plate in the minor leagues, was announced as Bob Robinson. Well, we got to know him by another day a little bit later. And
he was very quiet, very unassuming.
Unbelievable.
Like some of the players, in the history of the game, were like that. A lot of them, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, others were way more prickly, and you can only see that when you compare the two. So he was quite a gentleman.
Back in 1964, and I just not to belabor it, but Northeastern won the Legion Championship for the state that year. They had a great team: Greg King, Doug King, Jerry Heist. They had a bunch of guys, Jim Rife, a whole crowd. And Brooks Robinson came to Northeastern to speak at the banquet they had late that summer, and he brought with him Don Wirt, his best friend, who played third base for the Detroit Tigers then, who was from Quarryville. And the two of them came up, and I got my picture taken between the two of them.
Oh, look at that.
And that was also the year that Brooks Robinson was the most valuable player in the major leagues for the American League. And two third basemen that year, Ken Boyer for the St. Louis and Brooks Robinson for the Orioles, who finished third, 2 games behind the dreaded Yankees.
So today is Galentine's Day.
Yeah, this is girls, friends, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's also National Internet Friends Day. Yeah, I don't do
you
that.
Have internet?
No, I don't do that.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. It also we have our question up today at Gary Sutton Show on Facebook, and I'm hearing this a lot, so I thought I'd throw it out to you and see what you think. Is our nation in a quote unquote constitutional crisis with the Trump administration in control? If so, how, in your opinion? So I'd love you to take on that question this morning. We'll be dealing with that in different incarnations throughout the show today. Got a great list of guests. We got Chris Markowski, the watchdog on Wall Street. We'll take a look at why inflation is up higher than it's been now in 7 months, up at 3%. And we'll talk about that this morning. Also a little bit more about Doge and maybe the lifting of the ban yesterday on this payback thing for employees who the president ordered back to work. Joel Sears will take on the governor's budget and dissect that a bit at 7:05 today. And then Dennis Owens, ABC 27 News, at 7:35, we'll talk about shock and awe in government. Where are we headed? Kind of taking on that whole constitutional crisis question. And is it the fundamental change versus in a war with the status quo? We'll talk about all that. Danielle Umstead joins us at 8:10 this morning, the founder and president of Sisters in Sports Foundation, an organization igniting a movement where every girl with disabilities finds belonging, thrives, builds empowering communities. It's a part of the L'Oreal of Paris Women of Worth nominees, and she's going to tell you about that this morning at 8:10. And Andrea Ryan will check in with us at 8:35 this morning. What's going on Valentine's Day, Mark, and beyond. And then Walt Oakham, Your Computer Repair, will be stopping by, too, to talk a little bit more about your computers. He's got some extra things to tell you and some ways to make York safe again. How's that? Make York safe again. Where have we heard that kind of thing before?
Well, anyway, speaking of safe.
And Joe Decree at 8:54 this morning, the short segment on the ultimatum to Hamas to return the hostages by Saturday at 12 noon and what that how that dynamic might play out here worldwide. So there you have it.
Speaking of safe, it's International Condom Day.
Great to hear that.
Desperation Day.
Are we sending anything to Gaza or anything?
It's, the Gaza that apparently was...
Wrong Gaza.
Wrong Gaza, that's right.
There's a Gaza in, what, is it Mozambique or something like that?
Yes, it had to do with an AIDS outbreak and not, so
Yikes.
Context matters.
Yes, it does.
How about this one?
Right. Kissing.
Kiss Day. Today is Kiss Day.
I have to remind my wife about that.
National Wingman's Day. Do you have a wingman?
You. You're my, when we're here, you're my,
Yeah,
you're my
true,
wingman.
I guess. And it is.
Am I yours?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Also, when I'm here, it's like, we complete each other.
Feed off each other constantly.
Exactly.
Make fun of each other.
But I'm not
Torment
getting
each other about Valentine's Day.
I'm not getting you anything for Valentine's Day.
You're fighting this tooth and nail.
That's okay.
Yeah,
It was yesterday. I was one day closer, and I thought, do you really?
Any more conversation with Deb on this?
No, I actually hardly saw her yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yes, because she had things to do, and I had things to do. Next thing you know, it's like, wow, where have you been?
By the way, when we come back, I have some more good ideas for gifts. It's not too late.
Okay.
And 3 terrible choices. Waffle House is not on it, by the way, but
I gotta look up their menu.
I'll share those.
See what they have.
Yeah, exactly right.
And it is World Radio Day. So cup your hand to your ear. Yesterday was the birthday of what was the guy's name that talked like the radio announcer?
Oh, Gary.
Yes. Gary what?
Gary.
Yes.
Gary I want to say Gary Oldman or something like that.
Yeah, something like that's the actor. But
oh, that's right. Yeah,
Gary Owens.
Gary Owens.
There you go. Dennis Owens, Gary Owens.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't think they're related, but
right.
Cup your ear to your hand to your ear and your mouth as you fake use headphones that I actually do have on. It is World Radio Day.
There you go. No reason you shouldn't be listening today. Now, especially here, 833-478-4729. Are we in a constitutional crisis? That's one of the big questions on the table today. And we'll deal with that throughout the day. Don't forget, later on today, if you want to watch any of our podcasts, of any of our segments, they'll be up on WOYK YouTube. All of that, and much more. When we come back, I continue in a quest, ladies and gentlemen, for the Holy Grail, or in this case, finding Mark a good Valentine's Day present for Deb. 4 great Valentine's Day gifts and 3 terrible choices straight ahead here, plus some local news of note this morning. We'll have it all for you here on WOYK. It's the Gary Sutton Show, and it is 6:17. Back with more right after this.